In your sight, Fitzpleasure, boom, Spieler.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu The Stanley Parable. Bevor ich aber wieder erkläre, was das hier überhaupt bedeutet, nicht lang schnacken, Kopf in den Nacken. Wir gehen jetzt rein und ja, öffnen uns mal ein paar Pfade, die wir vorher nicht gegangen sind. Ne?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Gelbe Boxen überall. Überall diese gelben Boxen. Wir haben noch hier...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Ja, bla,
he
bla.
entered the door on his left.
Ja, ich weiß. Ich weiß.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Ja.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Das macht's nicht besser.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Oh, nee, komm, nee.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nee, komm.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Danke, Erzähler. Du hast auch echt eine Vorliebe dafür, mich umzubringen, oder? Und ich bin zurück in der Hölle.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Ja.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Phone Call? Keine Musik? Kein Erzähler? Die Türen schließen nicht?
When Stanley came to
Sind die Boxen jetzt da? Jo,
all of his
die Boxen
co-workers
sind
were gone. What could it mean?
tatsächlich
Stanley decided
da.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wie geil ist das denn? Vor dem Fenster. Jo. Oh. Alles voll mit diesen scheiß Boxen. Kommen da noch mehr? Jo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dann geht man da durch, dann kommt man da oben hin, dann da haben wir alles gemacht.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja, sehr, sehr wichtig. Boah, wir müssen unbedingt mal eine Folge machen, wo ich alle Türen aufmache. Ich will wissen, was hinter sowas ist. Also so eine richtige Explore-Folge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay. Dann bleibe ich einfach mal stehen. Oh, ist das schön. Oh.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Oh ja. Oh ja. Guck dir das mal an hier.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Aber guck dir mal hier die Vorhänge an. Die Sofas. Hier ist der Notizblock.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Ich fliege. Ich fliege. Kommt da wirklich nichts mehr? Kann ich dich nicht noch weiter nerven? Okay.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Ja.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ich kann sehen, wo es hingeht. Nein, ich bitte dich. Aber sieht tatsächlich anders aus als in dem Konzeptbild aus der letzten Folge. Sehr anders.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Sicher?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Hab ja sonst nichts zu tun.
No, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, damit hätte ich nicht gerechnet. Wie haben die den denn hier reingekriegt?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay. Mal gucken, wo wir diesmal hingehen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oha.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Oh, trotzdem eine
Okay,
Story.
then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Lester. Da öffnen sich mir alle Türen, ne? Wortspiel. Bruh. Was soll das denn? Ja, sieh mal an, hier hat doch noch einer sein Büro.
I'll say it.
That's
This is
Antliga.
the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ich war gerade irgendwo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ganz klar, zum 3000. Mal.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Toll, das ist wie, wenn das Internet scheiße ist, den Router rausziehen. Ja, vom Strom abtrennen. Funktioniert immer.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ich garantiere, das ist im Kreis laufen. Oh, nee.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all.
Das
Is this the
Sending.
story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yes!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid
Nein.
off, so good job.
Hab ich nicht.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Ja.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Alles klar, Chef.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Line, TM. Aber nur Line. Moment, hier bietet sich mir die Möglichkeit, woanders hinzugehen.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Die Tür ist auch nicht richtig platziert hier. Alles klar. Folgende Linie. Vielleicht kommen ja noch ein paar Easter Eggs hierbei rum. Hier wollte ich schon immer mal hin.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ich will da hinten hin. Ich will sehen, was in 012 ist. Oh. Viel schöneres Büro als meins. Guck mal die Payday-Maske. Hier sind 2 Türen. Soll ich das mal rein? Moment, ich bin verwirrt des Todes. Dadam, dadam.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Sehr schön. Ist wirklich ein sehr schöner Fahren. Und wir gehen weiter. Aber das war ja gerade todesverwirrend. Ich habe halt wirklich echt nicht mehr rumgefunden. Aber wirklich, wenn ich den Mod habe, womit man Türen öffnen kann, wir werden alles nochmal durchgehen. Ich werde euch aber nur das Wichtigste reinschneiden, ist ja klar. Ich will ja nicht, dass ihr euch alles angucken müsst.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Die war nicht hier.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Das macht vielleicht was. Schade. Ich gehe doch eh nicht auf hier.
Oh, no,
Linie.
not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Restart. Meine Güte, Linie.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ah,
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Total.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
ganz toll. Ich liebe es, irgendwoher zu
Oh,
latschen.
no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
It's Tim. Trademark, Alter. toll.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Wir hätten beide nehmen können.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Ja.
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a...
Laut. Sehr, sehr laut.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich weiß aber auch gar nicht, wie lange diese Folge jetzt schon geht. Deswegen würde ich sagen, beenden wir das mal hier. Ich hoffe, es hat euch Spaß gemacht, mir auf jeden Fall. Und bis zur nächsten Folge. Tschüss.